With the whole mess that is GTA 6 and Sony going digital only in the future, I think it is one of the most dystopian and saddest thing that has ever happened to the gaming industry. And I wish to die before I get to experience that firsthand. That is my piece. And based on what I see on comment sections like TikTok, IG, Threads, and Twitter, people seem to be okay with the fact that digital only is the future. And it seems like they're okay with companies giving you less and expecting so much more from you. I want to share with you a story about physical games and my experience with it in my college years. And that was the most important part of my life because, back then I was such a broke kid and I really love video games, right? So I was a Call of Duty player and an Assassin's Creed player. So you can shit on me all you want about how the games are in the current state, but the AC and Call of Duty that I know is not the same as it is today, right? Back then, these two games were releasing bangers after bangers, right? You had Call of Duty, you had Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, and then you had Ghost. It just stacked bangers after bangers every single year, right? This story starts in 2014, but I want to go to 2013 first. Just a bit of backstory, right? So I played a lot of Call of Duty back then. A lot. That was the only thing of my escape, and I enjoyed every single one of the Call of Duty that I played. For a Southeast Asian, buying original games was a crazy thing to think about back then, okay? Because we are not rich. I don't come from a rich family. So every year, if I buy a game, it was Call of Duty because I just enjoyed it that much. Now, I made a mistake in 2013 of buying Call of Duty Ghost on PC. Back then, there was no such thing as crossplay. So if you bought into the PC ecosystem and you can only access to Southeast Asia Call of Duty server, you are in for shit. Okay, there was not many players. Even if there is, you're connected to like Oceania or like some other country. Your ping was always high. I remember playing Ghost and my ping was always in the 50s, always in the 120s. It was just not a good time. So I spent like 1-2 weeks with the game and I just could not anymore. And that was the biggest waste of money in my Steam profile. It is the biggest waste of money to this date. Now, that is the 2013 portion of the story. Let's move on to 2014, where huge things happen, right? So because of Ghost, I bought on PC. I decided to buy Advanced Warfare on the PS4. Now, I had a PS4. I was sharing it with my brother. We were splitting it half-half or something like that, I remember. But I had a PS4 back then. I still do. But it was only a Call of Duty machine. It was strictly a Call of Duty machine for me, right? So I bought Advanced Warfare. Back then, it was $160, $180. I don't remember. But let's call it 160, right? So I spent 160 ringgit on Advanced Warfare. Back then, 160 was a lot of money for a college student like me. That was like 1 month of grocery, 1 month of food. All right. So I made the conscious decision to buy Advanced Warfare on the PS4 because Ghost was such a shit experience on PC, right? Immediately I fell in love with it. I played the story mode. I finished it in 3 or 4 days. Absolutely loved it. And then I jumped into the multiplayer portion of it. Now, I wasn't such a big fan of it. I thought it kind of strayed away from what the Call of Duty that I know into what Call of Duty is today. You have the strafing, exosuit, jumping here and there, all these jetpacks and stuff. I just wasn't such a big fan. But I did enjoy the maps, but I remember not enjoying the gameplay as much. So I was disappointed with the multiplayer and I decided, hey, you know what? This game is still fresh in the market. It was only 5-6 days old. I decided to post it on a secondhand market, which if you're a Southeast Asian, you know Carousel, right? So I posted this on Carousel at $20 off. So I put it at 140 ringgit because, I've used it. It's still a new game, but I decided, if people are going to buy secondhand, then they're not going to pay full price. So I dropped it 20 ringgit off, and someone DM me and say, hey, I want to buy this game. But then I remember, oh, actually, I haven't played the latest Assassin's Creed. I heard it was a bit buggy. Actually, it was quite buggy. So I remembered that I wanted to play Assassin's Creed Unity. So the guy who DM'd me, he said he wanted to buy it. I said, hey, how about if you have Assassin's Creed Unity, I would trade my copy of Advanced Warfare with your Unity. And just, stars align, he has it. He didn't enjoy it because Unity was buggy at launch, and we swapped. We just swapped the games. I gave him Advanced Warfare, he gave me Unity. And he felt so bad because Unity was such a terrible state. He actually topped up 50 ringgit to me for my copy of Call of Duty. So if I'm doing the maths correctly, I had only spent 110 ringgit to play Advanced Warfare and AC Unity. Two bangers, two AAA games for the price of 110 ringgit. That, for a college brain back then, was insane to think about, right? So I finished Unity. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I spent like 1 or 2 weeks with it. I enjoyed it. I wasn't such a fan of that third-party app to get the Unity chest and stuff, but I finished it because I just like to make the most out of my money. All right. Again, remember, I was a college student back then. So I decided to sell my copy of AC Unity for Black Flag. That was another Assassin's Creed game that I didn't manage to play. So I posted again on Carousel. I said, hey, I would like to sell my copy of AC Unity, but I'm happy to trade for something. And somehow, again, the guy who messaged me, he wanted to buy my Unity. I asked him if he had Black Flag. He said, yes, I have. So he had an older game. I had a newer game. We swapped. I didn't charge him for it because, the first person already gave me extra $50. So I didn't want to make money off this guy. So he got a good deal at the end, right? He got my Unity. I got his Black Flag. Newer game for older game, blah, blah, whatever. So I finished Black Flag. To this day, it is one of the best AC games I've played. Of course, not the best. I have my number one spot in mind, but it's not Black Flag. But still, such an amazing game. I finished it. Finished 3 games in a span of 1 month. Again, I was a uni student, right? I had nothing to do. So I decided to sell Black Flag because to me, I already spent 110 ringgit for 3 bangers. I thought that was enough, fine. And I decided to sell off Black Flag for about 80 ringgit. So again, if we do the maths correctly here, I only spent 30 ringgit or 50 maybe if my maths is wrong. I spent 50 ringgit for 3 bangers. Do you know how crazy that sounds? Even now I think about it, it's crazy. And it blew my mind as a uni student that I can spend so little money to play original AAA games. That feeling, that feeling of having physical copy and reselling it and trading it with strangers is just insane. Now, I wish I had the copy of Black Flag to, not show proof. I wish I had that copy of Black Flag to just tell myself, hey, this is why physical games should not die. But again, I was a uni student. I needed money. I sold that thing off. I got my money back and I was more than happy. And again, to the people who say that, digital is the future, it's not. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not, because Sony is actively trying to kill off secondhand market. Not only Sony, Rockstar, they want to kill secondhand market. And I mean, say what you want, you can call people broke all you want, but one day when you find yourself strapped of cash and you just want to play games and you have no choice but to pay $80 to play a game, that's crazy. That's insane to think about. That is ridiculously stupid, and you should not think that way. And again, people who think physical is dying and digital is the future, I think these are just dead internet theory bots at work. There's no way people are this stupid. But then again, we have accepted so many things that makes video games shit nowadays, right? We have accepted skins, we've accepted season and battle passes, DLCs. Again, I no shame, I buy skins, I buy battle passes also. Because, you know, it's just the norm, right? If you're not paying for these things, you don't get maximum enjoyment out of it. But I stopped buying all of those. I just don't see myself buying stuff out of FOMO anymore. And this is just a little piece of story I want to share about physical games and how it made me a broke uni student back then to be able to play 3 insane games for price of 50 ringgit. That probably will not happen if it's digital. But yeah, I just wanted to share my piece. And there's one more argument that this is just an extra, just to make the video a bit longer, right? But the people who say, oh, but you know, you're on Steam, what makes your digital game and, you know, my console digital game different? It's so fucking different. You don't understand. Buying games on PC is not the same as buying games on consoles. We have GOG, we have Steam, we have Green Man Gaming, G2A. You have so many different, legal or not, you have so many ways of buying games that are cheap. You don't have to buy full price games. You know, you have, Epic Store, you have Uplay, you have Origin, you have all these shitty launches that give out shitty prices, but at the end of the day, you always have Steam sales, and Steam summer sales. Those are crazy, and you just cannot use that argument, okay? If you go to console, you are locked into Sony's Play Store, you are locked into Xbox, the Microsoft Store, whatever. So if that's your argument, please educate yourself, get yourself a PC, and, you know, experience games on the cheap. That's all. That's my piece. If you like this video, like, share, and maybe subscribe. I only have 40 plus. Peace.